Hey guys, Brett here. Welcome back to the Budget Operator channel. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to everybody that follows me over on Instagram. You guys are great, and I know I promised to make a video for you guys about going to the gun show and going to the range. So I went to the range for the past 2 days and went to the gun show once. I just want to let you guys know that I got extremely busy at both places on both days, and I was not able to get you guys any videos. So this video, I just wanted to throw out there tonight because I met a gentleman at the range tonight. He just picked up his first handgun. And I sat there and talked with him for a while and showed him how to get comfortable with his pistol and gave him some good recommendations over what he should do. So he picked up a Smith & Wesson EZ, and he got his chamber 9mm. I'm a fan of 9mm, mainly because of the ammo prices, and it's actually a really good round, especially if you get some of the self-defense and home defense rounds. So tonight, this is how pretty much everything went. We talked about holster choices. So if you are brand new to the gun community, just like he is, and you are looking at getting a pistol for home defense, self-defense, don't cheap out on this, mainly because it is your life and this is going to save your life. So you don't want to have something that isn't reliable and extremely cheap because you don't want to have a malfunction or anything like that and have it just fail on you. So my recommendations when getting a handgun, I usually go with Glock, and I'm also a fan of CZ, SIG, and Smith & Wesson. So you have a couple of choices there from reputable handgun dealers. They do make some budget options for people that are a little tight on money, which I would extremely suggest if you are tight on money to look into. Yeah, there's plenty of videos on them, a lot of research. So if you guys want to just find a channel that does nothing but one of those brands and watch like a in-depth video over it, go ahead. My recommendation though is get a decent handgun and then get a decent holster. You need to start with one and then two. The other stuff can come later on down the road. So what do I recommend for holsters? I recommend Kydex. This one was a custom-made holster from a gentleman that is local to me. I went with Kydex. Why? Because Kydex is, I know there's a big difference out there, but it's just, imagine it as a hard plastic. It covers the trigger guard really well, and these things last a long time. I've had this one for a year, and it has done me good. And Kydex can also allow you to get smooth, consistent draws because there's not much to snag on. When I first got started in firearms, I had a full-size 1911, and I thought the good idea was to go with a felt holster. These holsters have no retention. Even the belt clip itself does not hold on tight to a belt. So imagine if you're walking and you trip and you lose your firearm, it comes out of your holster, ends up in your shirt. That's a really bad day. So my suggestion for these, throw them out. The next thing that you should look into is how do you want to carry? Well, you have a multitude of choices. You can carry inside the waistband, outside the waistband, and most of the time, depending on what you are carrying and the state you're in, can actually dictate how you carry. So I like carrying concealed. In the state that I live in, we have constitutional carry, so you can actually conceal carry without a license. I also have my CCW anyway. Got that in another state due to the fact that I am military and I end up bouncing around, so it works out. So you got a choice of outside the waistband or inside the waistband. You can carry anywhere on your midsection, so that's just up to you and what your preference is. But depending on the size of your firearm, you might not be able to conceal it while it's outside the waistband. The gentleman with the Smith & Wesson EZ, he's going to have an easier time actually concealing it, depending on where he carries and what kind of clothing he chooses. I wear flannels all the time, so it's easy for me to be able to just drop a flannel over it and sweaters, so you can actually conceal your pistol a little bit more. Now, you're probably wondering, like, I'm just now getting into firearms. I'm not at all comfortable with carrying it. Well, that's okay. The best way to start off, carry it in your house. You don't have to have a round in it. Just walk around with it for a little while, get comfortable with it, and it's all about getting comfortable and proficient with it. You don't have to be good. You certainly can't be bad. You just got to be good. So my recommendation to him was carry around the house a little bit, keep it emptied for a little while. I know you're probably going to be uncomfortable with actually having it around in the chamber. So start off empty. And when you're really not doing anything, or if you were just bored, I like to dry fire a lot. So I'll put a piece of tape up on the wall. So I carry appendix, so I'll be lifting the front of my shirt, drawing my firearm, and presenting. So I told him, depending on how he wants to carry, all he has to do is just practice with it and become proficient with it. Since he was brand new and the gun had never been shot, he showed up to the range with 50 rounds. I gave him some extra rounds, mainly to get more comfortable with it. I told him the best way to do it is go online and find some bulk ammo, or go to a retailer around us that sells large amounts of ammo for cheap, and go to the range and shoot it as much as he can. We also talked about him possibly getting a new slide for the pistol. I do not know if the EZ actually has an interchangeable slide. So we talked to him about a 22. Get a 22, you could buy 555 rounds, and it's only about $80. So he can go to the range all day and sit there and get comfortable with shooting and get his fundamentals down, get his sight picture, what's comfortable to him, and being able to defend himself. So my recommendation for you guys is, if you picked up a brand new pistol, whether it be any of the brands I recommended or any other brands that you guys prefer that are decent quality, I say go to the range with a minimum of 500 rounds. So a break-in period is on most pistols, and that's usually about 500 rounds. Everything will go from being rough to a little bit smoother. On certain guns like Glock, you have to get a high round count for a lot of things to smooth out. I have a lot of rounds to this gun, and to me the Glock is just smooth. So once you shoot 500 rounds, where do you go from there? Well, that's when you can start thinking about picking up self-defense and home defense ammo. There's a multitude of choices out there. We recommended Hornady Critical Defense, Critical Duty, and I also mentioned Spear and Gold Dot. And these are what I carry. I carry Sierra. I carry the Sierra 124 grain jacketed hollow point, mainly because that is the ammo grain that I shoot. I shoot 124 grain, and that seems to be a little bit more stout for me, and I'm able to control that a little bit more better than 115 grain. So when it comes to a handgun, there are multiple grains. You just have to go and find which one you actually prefer, and there's a lot of choices out there, and ammo prices vary right now due to the fact that it's 2022. You got ammo scares, ammo bans, stuff like that. You always just gotta be on the lookout. I know prices seem crazy, but in the long run, don't cheap out on your life. So from there, I recommend picking up just a couple of boxes of stuff like this. So due to the fact that I have a red dot, I actually have it zeroed for that ammo weight, so 124 grain. Pick up a couple boxes of self-defense ammo. It might not be the cheapest thing. Get like 4 boxes and shoot 3 of them. See how well your handgun actually handles it. See how comfortable you are shooting a heavier grain. I know hollow points and full metal jacket are different. It's 100% known. So they're going to handle a little different in your firearm with accuracy and just overall how you manage recoil. So once you go from your pistol choice, then now you got your ammo choice. So you can build up off of there. My next recommendation off of the holsters is, if you're getting a holster without a light, it's going to be a little bit cheaper. But in the long run, after you guys get comfortable enough to actually start carrying and actually going outside of your house, I would recommend you guys getting a light. Or if this could be your home defense gun, immediately first thing you should get is a light. So a light is mainly for positive identification. So getting PID on something before you have to take a shot is the most important thing ever, because you're going to end up going to court after a self-defense shooting. And you don't want to end up having a very big situation for shooting the wrong person. Certain states allow you to have castle doctrine, and the states that don't, you have to be in imminent danger, so a light would be the best next option off of your holster. So the order I want you guys to think of things is pistol, ammo, holster, light. So if you know you're not going to be actually carrying this gun outside of your house, you don't got to worry about the holster option. And depending on what kind of light you want to go with, I went with a Surefire X300 on mine because I got a good deal on it. I also know they just came out with the turbo, which is expensive and it doesn't have as much throw. It's more of a focused beam. So the recommendation I can do for a budget light without breaking the bank and having a good quality light that you can actually find a lot of holsters for would be a Streamlight TLR7. You can find them used for about $100, brand new. They're about $150. And depending on where you're at, the price can vary. So I would go with a TLR7, or you can go with any of the TLR lights from 1 to 7. They're actually really decent and they're really good priced. So they're budgeted price and they won't break the bank. So from the next step, from there, I would actually just get comfortable with carrying it all because, trust me, this is a heavy firearm. I have a red dot sight on mine. I also have the light. Mine's a little bit bigger and bulkier, but for a guy my stature, I stand at about 5'6", 180 pounds. So I can actually conceal the pistol a lot better than most people, and it's comfortable to me. Plus, I've also been carrying it for a long time. When I first got into it, it was uncomfortable, and granted, at times it is going to be uncomfortable. You just have to get used to it and also just kind of find what makes you comfortable. So what I do is I wear an undershirt, so the pistol is actually just pressed up against the undershirt rather than my skin, and that is one of the biggest things to actually help. So next step in the video, because I like to talk about my civilian side, and I also like to throw a shout out there to the military side and the law enforcement side. So with law enforcement, I know there's SOPs along with the military. You got SOPs on what holsters you guys can and cannot run. So when I was first coming into the Army, Serpa holsters, trust me, I was big on them when I first got into guns. I thought they were the coolest thing ever. But these are actually inherently dangerous, mainly for the fact that the release to actually pull the pistol out is right where the trigger guard is. I know a lot of people are going to be like, I've had no problems with mine. When you actually start practicing a lot with these, you kind of start seeing the side of where it can get dangerous. Mainly because if you're under stress in a situation, you're going to be pulling on the pistol, and this button's going to get stuck. When you push this button in and you pull, you're going to go inside the trigger guard. And if your firearm is, say like a Glock, and or I know some guys run the M9s in these, 1911, stuff like that. If you don't run it with the safety on, you're going to end up NDing. And if you say that you practice with the safety on, everything else, yada yada, there's also one other problem with this. If you get a little bit of sand or dirt or anything inside the mechanism, your firearm is now actually stuck inside this. So my recommendation for this one, throw it in the trash too. So where do you go from there? Well, most of the time, depending on your unit, go with Safariland. I know with the SIG M17s, they actually started issuing out Safariland holsters with level 3 retention. Each holster is different because with Kydex holsters, you have level 1 retention, which is basically just friction holding the firearm in. Then you have level 2 retention, which is on this pistol, a little button that you have to defeat. So it's held in there by friction and a mechanism. You have to defeat the button to be able to draw the pistol. If I do not press that button at all, it will not come out. So the Safariland holsters that they make for the military now have a little hood over them. So you have 3 level 3 retention. So you have to defeat the button, pushing it, pulling it out, and the little hood, which keeps the pistol in. So if this button is defeated and the hood is still up, you can't get your pistol out. So the hood has to be flipped, button defeated, and the retention actually defeated. So My military folks, I know SOPs are kind of the biggest pain in the ass. If you can get around with running a belt just like this, if you are somebody that doesn't carry a pistol, you can still run a belt. It's awesome to run rifle mags on here, mainly because your primary weapon system is the M4. I know that's going to be changing in here in the next few years. But you also get the ability to carry a IFAK. This one has nothing in it. I just got this one. I'll be doing a review on the belt here pretty soon. And you can run a dump pouch, tourniquet, whatever else you want on here. And it's a pretty good idea because once you actually take your kit off, this is the only thing that you're going to have on you. Most of the time you'll be carrying around your rifle if you don't have your kit on, and you still want to be able to feed that rifle, and you still want to be able to do first aid for yourself. So if you're one of those people that ends up having to carry a pistol, like I said, I recommend using a mid-ride holster while on a belt. It's more comfortable, and that's where your natural grip is going to hang. So if you can actually put your hand over the front just like this, that is perfect at just a natural hang, because you want to come up and sweep and present. So that's for my military law enforcement dudes. For the law enforcement guys, I know you guys run a lot of Safari Land, which is a great choice. I just know you guys gotta run different styles, mainly the black basket weave. There's nothing wrong because that's just a look on it. It's an aesthetic. So that's pretty much all I have for this video. Get a good holster, carry a good pistol, have a good light, and carry decent quality ammo. Most of the ammo that I carry, I have ran through my pistol and I'm comfortable with. The holster that I have carried for a year and I am comfortable with. I can actually draw and present on target comfortably. Also on top of that, just go out there and practice. If you have nothing better to do, spend about 40 minutes dry firing. I know it may seem like a tedious task, but the more you dry fire, the more comfortable you are with your firearm. And it allows you to get an idea of muscle memory, being able to build it into your system. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys tonight. I hope you have a good one. Just if you got any comments, critiques, or any tips and advice, go ahead, hit me down in the comment section down below. If you guys follow me over on Instagram, go ahead and just send me a private message over there, and I would love to talk to you guys. So I hope you guys have a good night, and I hope this video helped out a lot of people. Have a good night, guys.